Okay, this is Devon. This is also round 4. I feel like I'm in a very comfortable place right now, which is really weird going into a live night. Let's start with the elephant in the room, which is just basically blowing up Logan and Patrick's game, saying that they're twin brothers. Of course, everyone already knew it already. Sort of weak gameplay on Jess's part, but I'm sort of glad because she was a favorite in my eyes to winning this game. But by exposing herself like this, um, not only does she create a couple of targets, but it also has other people worried. Like, if she's gonna blow up these two people's games, like what stops her from blowing up anyone else's game? So it'll be interesting to see if other people turn on her later on. It's just too soon for me to pick the brothers who haven't really talked to me as much as Jess, and Jess is part of multiple of my alliance chats. Plus, with numbers this small, it's pretty hard to hide the fact that if I didn't vote with her, then I wouldn't. It would be pretty easy to tell who would be the one flipping. Also, this plan relies on me, being on Allie's side as well. It sort of seems like I'm more aligned with the girls right now than the guys. It's been really hard trying to get words out of Sean, out of Logan, out of Adam even recently too, which is sort of strange because when people tend not to talk to you on such an important night like tonight, like live night, um, you know, it sort of bugs me a little bit because it makes me feel unsafe. Most people, when they're avoiding you towards the tribal, it's because you're on the chopping block. But with, the brothers and Jess going after each other, I feel pretty comfortable right now. I'd be sort of shocked if I was one leaving, but it would also be smart gameplay. The brothers should be looking at Jess and saying, okay, we're gunning for Jess publicly, but in the back of their minds, they should be recruiting Adam. They should be recruiting Sean, both of whom who haven't really talked to me, or Adam in that case, who's had a really bad history with me. And they should be planning to blindside someone else just in case of an idol. I haven't really heard anything about an idol, something about unscrambling words, and I also heard it's on the other tribe as well. So I'm not trying to think too much into it. For me, it's pretty clear cut. I'll be voting out the brothers tonight. With that, I really wanted Logan to go, but it almost seems like Patrick's the better option. Over on the other side, I don't really have a clue what's happening. Michael said he might be in a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I'm just sort of taking it step by step. So I'll take any questions.
So just ignore my background noise. I'm in the living room. Um, so you stated moving forward in this game in the future that Jess would be a potential not good for your game. Can you elaborate more on that part?
Yeah, so just right now, basically threw two people under the bus. So there's really no chance that Logan or Patrick are going to win at this point, just because if they do make it to the end, they have a great case. Hey, just exposed my game. My brother was probably voted out. Let's say that one of them gets voted out. The other one can say my brother was voted out, and I still managed to, remain persistent enough to get to the end of this game. But for Jess, like for me, for example, I don't want Jess throwing me under the bus. I don't want her putting my name in the public chat. And I think if Jess does make it in the end, she can say, from the get-go, I was straightforward. I was honest with everyone. If someone spoke my name, I spoke it right back to them, and I wasn't afraid of anyone. It's just very dangerous. And people, I've never seen someone like that go out and win. I've tried that strategy a few times when I know my back's up against the wall like Jess's was, but you don't win the game. You usually make it around that final 6, final 7 range, and then people start saying, okay, this guy has a really big case to win this game, and then they end up voting you out. So for me at least, Jess was already a threat coming into this. She's a strong social player, has alliances with basically everyone, so it's almost impossible to talk about voting her out unless you're talking to the brothers. So I'm a little nervous because I'm not sure when the next chance is to vote out Jess, but right now there's just too many numbers in line. If I vote Jess out, I'll have about 5 people that can't trust me, as opposed to just voting out Patrick tonight and only having one other person not trust me, and that being Logan. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think Jess is going to win this game. Around that final 8 range, if she makes it that far, I'm going to have to start targeting her. It doesn't make any sense to let her go too far in this game.
So you stated that you wanted Logan gone, but it seems to be Patrick someone getting the votes. Why do you want Logan gone than Patrick?
All right, that's a good question. Neither one of them have really reached out to me too often. Logan just a tad bit less than Patrick. That's where my preference was, at least. Patrick keeps telling me today, he's got my back, he's got my back. And you would think with Logan, at least, him just being exposed today hasn't come to me once about, getting my vote. He's sort of just relying on Patrick. So you can tell Patrick's the better game player in comparison to Logan. But I just don't have that common ground with Logan right now. We weren't really on that same tribe to start this game too often, so we haven't really had time to connect with one another, and have the opportunity to talk game first and foremost. So for me, at least, I would have wanted Logan out instead of Patrick, just because I think Patrick's a slightly bigger target and he's slightly easier to talk to in comparison to Logan. But for me, it's just picking apples and oranges. Both are going to get eaten up at some point this season. So I'm just sort of, sitting. I'm not trying to shot call too many things right now. I'm just sort of trying to get on the right side of the numbers consistently, trying to figure out, what's best for my game. But when the lines need to get drawn, I'm confident that, I'll have more leeway in what happens around here. But this wasn't really my call to make. This really wasn't too much. If you could restate the question that I asked and follow that would be the answer. Yeah, so the question was, why would I want for Logan to go over Patrick? And really the reason is, Patrick talks to me a little bit more. Logan really doesn't talk to me whatsoever, which is really inconvenient, especially when his back was up against the wall. Makes it seem like almost Patrick's relying on me and they're in communication with one another, or maybe Logan just doesn't care as much as Patrick does. So Logan being around is sort of worse for my game, but at the same time, he, like I said before, apples and oranges for the two of them, but both of them are going to get eaten up regardless. That's the best analogy I can come up with on the spot. But for me, I'm just there's differences. Like if I wanted Logan gone so passionately, I would try to create that shot call. But this wasn't really the round to do it. I'm sort of waiting for the right time, gathering a few more numbers, and then eventually when the lines need to get drawn, they'll get drawn by me. I'm not too scared of that.
So there are things that are happening pretty fast in this game. So as of right now, same question like usual. Who would you say you trust the most and trust the least in the long run of this game?
Yeah. That's tough because, like you said, a lot of things are happening so fast. The person I trust the most right now, I guess it would be. I guess it would still be Michael. He hasn't really reached out to me as of late, but he did reach out to me tonight. Said he might be in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to push the target off of himself, but I haven't really been in that much contact with him, especially in gameplay wise, just because we haven't been on that same tribe. We haven't had the opportunity to showcase our trust for one another, and that's sort of my problem too right now, which is I'm stuck in the game and I'm not losing competitions. Like my team will not lose a competition. So I'm sort of just sitting here with safety every week and not able to build my resume. But I guess Michael, and then on the other side, I would have to say, I mean, Jess really dug herself a hole a little bit, but I wouldn't say Jess just because she is so consistently in contact with me. Um, but for right now, I'm going to change my previous answer, which was Adam, who's been talking to me a little bit more. And I'll probably say the brothers. I don't really trust, the way that they had to come out with that news today. They could have, if I was the brothers, if I had a brother in this game, I would have, as soon as we lost, as soon as we got word that people might know that we're together, I would go to select a few people in the majority alliance and I would say, hey, listen, me and my brother, we know each other, yada, 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 but use that information to an advantage. So the way that they did it was pretty sloppy. That's sort of the reason why I'm voting him out. I want to play this game with the best players. I think Patrick's a better player, but it's a real shame that it's going to be him. I tried pushing Logan, but yeah. So just to clarify, I guess my answer for most trust would be Michael, and my least trust would be the brothers right now.
Sorry, I was taking the trash out.
Okay.
So coming to this vote and not coming to this vote, not the vote. Forget, scratch that. moving forward in this game, knowing a good amount on how this format of Ascendance goes about, how are you going to move forward with Emperor challenges and Ludus challenges?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in the beginning stages, I was really just throwing every single challenge that came my way. And right now, it seems to be the perfect strategy. I think I'm one of the only players that hasn't had their name brought up by a single person. I could be mistaken. You can go back and you can check me at the end of the season on that. But right now, I don't think a single person is out here saying they don't trust me um, just because of experience in this game. Like, I could see Adam saying, like, he doesn't trust me based on previous experience. I could see Jess saying that she knows me from 10 gauge, but she also knows how I play. So she might not trust me, but I don't have a negative relationship with anyone. So right now, I'm pretty confident with the way I'm playing this game. I think I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes work, and I'm really anxious just to get my hands a little bit dirty. I just have a hard time believing that this is the vote that has to happen. I think Sean's going to vote out the brothers. I think Adam's going to vote out the brothers. I think even if I voted with the brothers to vote out Jess, I think it would be a tie at the very least, and I'm not willing to go to rocks for people that don't reach out to me too often. Um, so moving forward, I'm pretty consistent right now. I'm pretty happy with the way I'm playing. This isn't the best season in terms of my gameplay. I'm a little disappointed so far, but there's plenty of game to be played still. I'm sort of just establishing those connections. I've had a busy few days, so I'm really looking forward to getting back to the grind. Hopefully, forming a couple more group chats, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm pretty excited.
That's all the questions I have. Before I stop the recording, do you have any last minute things you want to say?
Just last minute things. Hopefully it's not me tonight, and hopefully this isn't my last confessional. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the competition holds, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this whole vote thing's about. I'm also interested to see what Sean's all about. I haven't really spoken to him. I think I had one conversation with him since the start of the season, and he sort of dropped something at 2 o'clock in the morning saying that people better get in touch with him. That's all he can release for now. So I almost think that he has some sort of twist up his sleeve that's going to be presented tonight. But you never know. I could be out of my mind. I could be overthinking it. But I'm excited regardless. So that's all I got.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.